Just be aware that whatever it is that comes in mind, or comes as mind, or comes as feeling, as thought and sensation, cannot exist without you, the perceiver of it. And you stay in that ultimate place, that which sees even seeing, where even seeing is seen, just like you know you are perceiving. There's awareness of perceiving. As soon as that clicks nicely, you'll find that all these ideas about balancing and how can I balance and how can I get it right, all that drops away. It's just unnecessary junk. Your being is managing spontaneously. When you're in the bathroom having a shower, do you have to think, should I put my leg on this thing and then take this soap and then I take this flannel and rub this soap, then put the soap back and then put the leg down and put the... You don't think at all. When you're walking, do you put left, right, left? No, you don't. You do it. All life is so spontaneous for you. Then we are thinking, oh yeah, how can I do? You don't have to know how to do. It is happening. Life is just happening. Who gave you the job to balance life? Is there a balance? Or maybe I am mistakenly trying to separate a little bit, not intentionally, but the mistake or the misunderstanding happens for us, all of us, at some point, where you think, you're told, you have to do this, and you have to balance, and you have to be careful, and you have to make sure that this is in place, and you pick up all this thing, which you can do naturally. Even that you do, not you doing, it is happening naturally. So this, just you need to understand that a lot of things we are told you need to do is what is happening by life spontaneously anyway. Where did all of this come from? Outside or inside? Arising from inside. Everything is inside. But you have to be aware of it. You only have to be aware of it. If you're not aware of it, you keep looking outside. They tell the story of one man, two friends, Two friends, these two men, they spent a lot of time they're from a small town, but they were friends from they were very young. They shared everything. They talked about everything. They would sit under a tree and they talk about everything. They so loved each other, enjoyed so much each other's company, and they told all their secrets. Let's call one Mr. A and Mr. B. So Mr. A is married. He has a wife and a son. His wife is a little bit money-minded, and he's a little bit sort of cautious about that. He has a nice amount of money, but he's afraid if I just make it available to his wife, she's going to spend on all kind of things, and in a short while they will have nothing. So he confided to his friends, I have all this money, but I don't want to spoil my wife and my son, but I want to care for them. If anything ever happened to me, I want you to know that I've put this money in a box under the house. Okay? Okay, thank you. And then they talked about other things. Now, Mr. B, the friend, went traveling around the world for some time, and after 8 months or so, returned home. In the meantime, Mr. A, his friend, passed away, had an accident, passed away. When the friend who has been traveling now came back to his town to see his friend, he was walking on the way and he sees the wife of his friend and the son on the street begging. Yeah, give me a cup of tea, Look dirty and miserable. So he immediately walks over. Amma, You are my friend of my husband. Yes, well, what happened to him? What happened to A? Oh, you don't know? He passed away. Suddenly like that. Oh my God. When was this? Oh, months ago. Now we have nothing at all. We are begging him on the street. Please help me. Oh, Amma. Oh, Amma. I have good news for you. I'm sorry about all of this. But your husband has left a lot of inheritance for you. So immediately her mood is changing now. Why? Because it's coming from a trusted friend. A very loyal friend. Then he says, come, together, come now, let's go. Enough of this begging, come. So they went home to the house, and he goes and they take up the floorboards, and he doesn't know exactly to look around, and they're pushing, digging, and then after a while, dig. Take one box out, full of gold coins. So much money, the boy can go to school and do everything, and they can everything. They don't have to worry about anything at all. Now, this money is totally theirs, legally theirs, and it's in the house. But were they rich? Were they rich? No. And yes, the monies there belong to them, but they are unaware of it. Then a friend comes and tells you, listen, there's no need for you to be begging because your husband has made adequate provisions for you. So just hearing the good news from a trusted friend, already the mood is changing, you see. Not only does the friend say that, he says, come right now, we go together and we look. And they find together. So in the same way, each one has a golden treasure inside, the treasure of the self. But we are looking like beggars, looking for a life, when you yourself are life. But until someone points it out to you, you're not aware. This is all satsang is doing, pointing you back to your treasure, you see. I remember one story, one point, there was a satsang in Bombay, at Srina Sagadatta's Maharaj's place. And the master has been speaking for some time, and one man, he said, Swamiji, can I speak? Yes, say something. He says, I hear what you speak, and I feel the power of your words, but I have to be honest. I am always experiencing suffering. And the master say, no, you are not experiencing suffering. You are suffering, you're experiencing. I tell you again, no? He says, I am always experiencing suffering. The master say, no, it's not true. You are not experiencing suffering. You are suffering, you're experiencing. What a powerful insight. Huh? What he's saying is that there's no such thing as suffering. There is pain. Suffering, pain is actual something. For sage and sinner alike, pain is there. But suffering is more about an attitude to your pain. You see? And he's saying there that you can change this, the way that you experience. The taste of your experience is directly linked to who you take yourself to be. So there is nothing called suffering. Suffering is not a thing. Suffering is a state. You see? So it's not that you are experiencing suffering, because suffering does not exist. Suffering only comes with your attitude that I don't like this. Why is this happening to me? And that's how you create the state of suffering. You see? So he's saying there's an option. You're not compelled to suffer. Pain is there, but you need not suffer your pain. You may experience the pain, but you are suffering the pain and calling it that you are experiencing suffering. He simply corrected him, you see. But he offered at the same time tremendous space. He gave him back tremendous space and show him, listen, you are misusing your power. If there was something called suffering, suppose I say, yes, this is suffering. I found my suffering. Here it is. This is suffering. If this is a fact that this is suffering, then if it is suffered by me, then it will be suffered by you. Because the fact is that this is suffering. But while I'm suffering this, you are drinking it, enjoying. So it's not that this is suffering. It's just that I am suffering this. You are enjoying it. Why blame the thing? The thing is innocent. Your life is not disheartening. You are being disheartened. Let's find out why. It is arrogant, actually, to think your life is disheartening. Like, why should life single you out? Like, I don't like you. Who are you to be so important as to be unique in this way? You see? Emotions are negative. No, emotions are emotions. You are experiencing them negatively. They are too intense. No, you are being intense about them. They always come in situations which are associated with fear, guilt, and being worse in my mind. It takes all my attention and I start to feel the feeling suffering. Yes, this is the habit. I don't know what I can do. Well, you can begin to understand what I'm speaking. And look. When I'm in my neutral state, in other words, I feel only discomfort and anxious. That's not neutral. When you are in a neutral state, everything gets neutralized for you. I haven't motivation and courage to look inside. You're talking about a certain state of mind, not about yourself. You see? It's just a mistake. We are identifying a certain conditioning that we picked up as being the fact of your being. It is not the fact of your being. It's the fact of your behavior, not of your being. I waste my time for imagining how my life should be. Yes, that is a waste of time. My life has a negative, horrified state without enjoy or friends. Of course, if you continue, with identifying with these states, it's going to have a negative, horrible taste, and nobody wants to be your friend. Why? Because you just made them miserable. Why want to be your friend if you're just gonna every day? Oh, my life is no good. My mind is too intense. Nobody wants to listen. They have their own troubles. I have really big problems with relations and people. Of course. Not because it exists like that, but because you are going into a roller coaster. You see, you start off with a negative thing, it picks up more negativity, it goes in snowball into a bigger thing, then by the time it becomes a mountain, and bloody avalanche is coming and everything. They see you coming and say, oh, that guy again, let's go inside. But this is not you. This is not your true life. You're going to discover your true life, and your laughter is going to come back. Your joy is going to come back. Because that purity inside you can never be dirtied, actually. You can only dream. This thing you're talking now.